Hey everybody, Deb here with the Carnivore Caveman Keto couple. Welcome back to the channel, guys. So today I wanted to do a little video on kind of my transformation from what I was doing before to carnivore and why this is working for me so much better. I know it's only been about 6 weeks, but I'm having great results and just the whole food thing is perfect for me. So kind of let me tell you, for like 9 months prior to that, I was doing a really low carb diet. I try to stay well below, gosh, most days like under 20 grams, some days 25, because what I found, and have my little ketone meter here, what I found is that if I went above like 30 grams, a lot of times it would kind of kick me out of ketosis and make my blood sugar go up. And as some of you guys know, insulin resistance is really big in my family, diabetes, so I'm just super concerned about that. And I know, I always say genetics load the gun, but our lifestyle, we pull the trigger. So I'm really just working hard on keeping the carbohydrates out of my life because I do so much better with that. So anyways, guys, I was constantly using my ketone meter, checking my ketones, and that wasn't such a pain because I don't mind doing that, but just living a life that you always have to do that and see whether you're in ketosis or not, I don't know. That's just really not for me. And all of this stuff, this is the topic of discussion today. Okay, what is all this stuff? Well, we've got xylitol. Be really careful of this, guys, if you're using it. It's toxic to dogs. I don't know about cats, but I know that it is toxic to dogs. We don't use this stuff anymore, but I wanted to save it just to kind of show you guys what Johnny and I were doing prior to being carnivore. We were addicted to this stuff. So we went off of sugar. We transitioned into the healthy sugars, which, in my opinion, these are all man-made stuff, okay? They're all processed in some form. The least amount of processing here is the stevia or stevia, however you want to pronounce it, but it's still more concentrated than what you find in nature, and we just don't really know the long-term health benefits or health issues with this stuff, in my opinion. We were told many years ago that NutraSweet and Sweet and Low, they were fine for us. Oh yeah, and people still use them today, even though they're a huge neurotoxin. They cause terrible issues with people, gastrointestinal, and just, they're bad in my opinion. Then we switched over to Splenda, and everybody said, oh yeah, Splenda's the best. It doesn't cause any issues. It's actually fairly healthy for you. And that was a total lie. And now we've got, our xylitol, we've got our monk fruit here, we've got our erythritol, we've got our allulose, stevia, however you want to pronounce it. And in my opinion, not enough research has been done. Does it change our gut microbiome? Does it change things in our brain? They say they don't think so, but they don't really know. So in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, and this is what is best for me, it's not necessarily going to be better for you, or I'm not saying, oh, all this stuff is bad for you, but in my opinion, this stuff becomes a crutch, okay? So you wean yourself off of processed foods or sugar, and you switch to this kind of stuff because it doesn't raise your glucose as much, and it's pretty glycemic index friendly. But this, in my opinion, should be a transition to like no sugar. Okay, we don't need that. I don't consume zero added sugar in my diet. The only sugar that I may get is maybe the tiny bit of carbohydrates that's in my liver. Once in a while I'll drink some kefir, so there is probably a little bit in that, but that's only once or twice a week. Nothing in my coffee anymore, just a little bit, 2 teaspoons of heavy fat whipping cream in my coffee once a day in the morning. Maybe if I'm really cold or if I feel like evening cup, but that is not every day. But I don't use, Johnny and I both, we don't use any of this stuff anymore. Did it take a little doing? Yeah, probably about a week of switching over from no sweetener to coffee. The coffee was kind of like, it's okay. But after like the 4th or 5th cup, the 4th or 5th day, I loved it. I don't even want sweetener. In fact, I make my own coffee because I'm super particular about it being organic, and I want the grass-fed heavy cream, and most places don't offer that. They offer half and half, and I just don't drink that stuff. But anyways, we were out late. We didn't bring our own coffee, and Johnny and I both wanted coffee, so we went into Starbucks, and I accidentally got the wrong cup of someone's coffee, and I took a sip, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I asked the lady, I'm like, can you tell me what is in this? And she just said it was like one shot of something. I don't know. It was some latte with not much sweetener, but it was too sweet for me. I'm like, well, no. Got the wrong coffee, so I need you to make me one with just, and then I always have some heavy cream, usually in the coffee, or usually in the car if we know we're going to be out. So put my own cream in, but I just can't believe like the sweetness. People's sweet palates or taste buds are just kind of crazy. I think we all need to turn down the thermostat on our sweetness, and it's pretty easy if you just give it a few days of just lowering it. Gets to the point where you don't even want it anymore. Like somebody gives you something that has any kind of sweetener in it and you're like, oh, that is too sweet. So I mean, that is a pretty cool feeling, to be totally non-addicted or not having to use any of this stuff. You know, the stevia kind of has an aftertaste to me. Even if you just use a tiny bit, I've never really cared for the taste of it. So everybody like mixes it with this and erythritol to try to get your Truvia flavor or something. And I don't know, it just seems like we've made things too complicated. It's a big hassle. Let's just try to all wean ourselves off of sugar. And then, let me get to this little guy. So, I was a little bit addicted to this stuff because what would happen is I'd have like a cheat meal, or I'd get a little over my carbohydrates and be paranoid that I was going to be knocked out of ketosis. So what are these? Exogenous ketones. There is a place for these. They're really good. I feel it's someone transitioning from higher carbs to lower carbs. Maybe if you're going like from the standard American diet to keto, paleo maybe, or even if you're just going to go cold turkey and go standard American diet right into carnivore. Wouldn't recommend that. There's a high failure rate in that, but if you're going to do it, you know, these exogenous ketones help. They just help kind of your body get into producing ketones quicker. It's got sodium, magnesium, so it kind of takes a little bit of that keto flu or carnivore flu feeling away. But so many people get stuck on these and they feel like they can, you know, just eat all these carbohydrates and cheat, and if they drink 5 teaspoons of this a day, they're going to stay in ketosis. But that's not what this is made for. And we don't know, again, what this man-made, manufactured laboratory stuff does to our gut microbiome, to our brains, to our, you know, we're trying to kind of like fake out the body with this stuff. And in my opinion, you can't fake the body out. This machine is like the smartest machine we will ever encounter. And you may fake it out short term, but I don't think you can fake it out long term. You can't be adding these sweeteners that aren't raising your glucose, but are still sending a signal to your brain, oh, sweet's coming, but it's not coming. And then, you know, some of this stuff gets digested into the small intestine, some of it doesn't, and it causes diarrhea and bloating for some people. And I don't know if this is good to be on long term. Again, I think it's a great product for weaning yourself from sugar to no sugar. It's kind of like, in my opinion, the nicotine patch and the nicotine gum. They're supposed to be weaning people off of smoking to go to no cigarettes. It's not supposed to be where you keep this patch on, you know, for 5 years every single day, and that's like your substitute for the cigarette. That's, again, my opinion. I think so many of us are just kind of addicted to this, and we're trying to make our old foods taste like the standard American diet foods and taste like, you know, all these processed foods that we were addicted to. But that's not really curbing the cravings or stopping the addiction. Now, I don't know if most people are like this, but I'm not the kind of girl that can just have one little cookie out of the bag or maybe 2 potato chips and I'm good for, you know, the rest of the week. So I would prefer not having any of those Oreos, okay, or Chips Ahoy. Just get them away from me, and in 2 weeks, I won't have any craving for them. You couldn't even tempt me right now with that kind of stuff because it just sounds gross to me. It's too sweet, too processed. It leaves a filmy taste in your mouth. But if I were doing stuff in moderation, I know I would still have those cravings. But on this carnivore diet, I'm telling you, again, I'm not promoting this diet to you. I'm just telling you my journey, what's been happening in the 6 weeks, and I am loving it. I don't have any cravings for sweets. All the high healthy animal fat that I'm eating and the moderate protein is curbing any type of cravings or hunger that I feel. I usually only eat 2 small meals a day, and then usually like 3 days a week I just throw in a 18-19 hour fast. I eat 1 meal. And I don't know, it's been working for me. So I'd love to hear somebody else's, if you guys have any opinions or comments, if this has also worked in getting rid of your like addiction to these non-sweetener sugar alcohols. I'd love to hear some comments on that. So, all right, guys. Well, just remember, if you like the video, please give a thumbs up. It just helps our channel. If you haven't subscribed, you can do that now. Click that notification bell to let you know when Johnny and I put up a new video. Just remember, meat heals. Keep eating lots of meat and healthy fat. Until next time, guys.